at 69.26. All right, now let's go to the edge of the trading floor at the CME Group in Chicago. Oliver Sloup with Blue Line Futures is here with us. Oliver, it's good to talk to you again. Well, how significant is it that corn started to come back here a little bit and came off of its early lows?
I am not reading too much into it. We've been trading in a pretty narrow range, and quite frankly, the slow bleed lower has been somewhat concerning. 334 to 335, I think it's going to be a big support pocket. This was going back to last November, a big support pocket for last year's crop. So if we can hold this, we might be able to see some buyers or some short covering come into the market, but we really want to see conviction closes and consecutive closes above technical resistance. That's 342.5 to 345. If we can do that, I think we encourage more funds to cover. Now, we do have option expiration next week, which is going to be a big factor on our radar. There are a lot of in-the-money puts from 350 to 340. There's about 90,000. Oftentimes, that tends to act as a little bit of a magnet going into expiration. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little rally, maybe not today or tomorrow, but certainly into next week ahead of that option expiration.
Real quickly, then, what's it going to take to hold this line here on the soybean pit?
You know, I'm a little bit disappointed. We had talked on your show yesterday, 968 being a big support level. We could not get back above key technical resistance, 979 to 984. That was the 50, 200, 100-day moving average. We failed against that yesterday and this morning, and the seller stepped back in. So I think you're seeing some long liquidation from funds. A break below 968 really opens the door for some accelerated selling pressure.
All right. Oliver Sloup with Blue Line Futures is there in Chicago at the edge of the trading floor, bringing us the latest analysis and kind of what the trade is having to say today. All right, we first want to start with this cattle complex here, Oliver. We've traded cattle now at 119, 120. Now it's just sit back and wait here just a little bit to see what's in that cattle on feed report.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had a lot of volatility in the cattle complex over the past couple of weeks, and now we're kind of just treading water as the market, I think, is finding a little bit of an equilibrium into that cattle on feed report. We have had, we're on the way to closing 2 consecutive sessions on inside days, meaning trading within the previous day's trading range, and I think that's very fitting, knowing that we do have a big report tomorrow after the close, and that typically means that we could see a breakout or a breakdown. So I expect consolidation through the close today, through tomorrow, but I expect a directional move either up or down come Monday, depending on what numbers we get.
How much of this is related to fund money? And the reason I ask this is because the Dow really kind of took off today, 100 and some points higher a little bit ago. So how much of this is just fund money being drawn out of the commodities?
You know, it could be. I wouldn't read too much into that. We know that funds do have a pretty good size net long position in the cattle complex. I don't think it's deterred them at all, but that could certainly change. I think where you're going to want to see allocation away from the equities, I think you see that flow back into commodities, but we haven't gotten that quite yet. So I think you'll see a little bit more correlation on a pullback in the stock markets than the stock market going higher.
Is the increasing in hog weights a big concern to you?
You know, I think that's been priced in a little bit. If you look on the chart, we've been, taking it on the chin here. Looking at the December lean hogs chart, it looked promising yesterday. It looked like we were going to have a capitulation. We had that spike low and then buyers step in, and I thought we'd really see some follow through short covering. The fact that we were not able to get that on the open here this morning is very concerning, and I think could lead to lower price action here to start next week.
Oliver Sloup here with us of Blue Line Futures. And Oliver, look forward to seeing you tonight and you visiting with us on the Rural Evening News.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.